Hello everyone, welcome back to That Doll Collector. My name is Lisa. Thank you so much for watching my video today. And today it is Wednesday, yes, because we are here with little Honey Bee. She is my Pika Sculpt, and we are here for another Pika Wednesday. Pika Wednesday is hosted by two channels in the doll community. Tammy at Tater Tots Reborn Nursery, and you have Jessica, Jessica's Homestead Life. They take turns picking a theme for us to dress our dolls to. So how's everyone doing today? The sun is shining today. Yesterday was a cloudy, gloomy day, and today we are blessed with the beautiful sunshine once again. It's going to be a wonderful day today. Cold, it's cold, but at least the sun is shining. So in front of you, we have little Honey Bee, as you can see. And the theme for this week was orange or purple. Dress your Pika in orange or purple, or any Halloween costume that you choose. Well, my little Pika, Honey Bee, I don't have a costume that would fit her, but I do have these little onesies that are M&Ms. So it is way too big for her, but I made it work, and she is a orange M&M. That is what she is going to be for Halloween. So we're fitting right in. We have a little costume for her, and she is orange. And in her hand, she is holding a little miniature Rice Krispie treat. When the trick-or-treaters come this year at my house, this is one of the treats that they will be getting. They will be getting a little white Rice Krispie treat and a piece of candy or a little gummy bear treat. And then I also found some cute glow-in-the-dark. There's snakes and bugs and ants and all kinds of things. Everybody gets one of them. I put like a little bag together, and everybody gets a bag. So yesterday, Joe and I spent quite a few hours putting together the little treat bags, but we sat and watched TV while we did that, and we put together 300 bags for the trick-or-treaters. So we'll see how many I get. So I'm all set for them to come, although I still have to do a little bit of decorating outside, but I couldn't do that yesterday because it was raining. And today I plan also on carving my jack-o'-lanterns and putting them outside. So Halloween is sneaking up on us fast. You know, everybody, before we know it, Christmas will be here and gone. You know, time as you get older just seems to go way, way too fast. But anyway, while I was watching Tammy's Pika Wednesday, Pika movie video, she did a 10 tag questions that Carla over at Carla's Bunny Trail had put together. And Carla, I had seen this on your channel. I started to watch, and I had to leave and go to work, so I never got back there. But so while I was watching Tammy do them, I wrote them all down, and I thought I would answer them quick. So let's get into these questions. Number 1, your favorite Halloween candy. Well, I like all kinds of candy. I am not partial to anything. I do like candy corn. I like candy corn and peanuts, like lightly salted peanuts. When you eat them together, to me, they taste like a salted nut roll. So that is one of the favorite things that I always put together for a little snack around Halloween and even Thanksgiving. Number 2, your favorite scary movie. Okay, well, I think I expressed in one of my last films that I am a fan of scary movies, but I do not enjoy the ones with a lot of really graphic, like blood and guts. I don't enjoy that at all. I think one of my favorite scary movies is there's ones that aren't so graphic, and they're more suspenseful. So I like movies like The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis. I also like The People Under the Stairs, if you've seen that. And my all-time favorite old movie is Night of the Living Dead with the zombies. The first one they ever made. I enjoy that movie. A good kids movie that is kind of scary, not too scary though, is called Monster House. If none of you have seen it, it's got a good kind of like a moral story to it at the end, if you would. There's a reason why the house is acting like a monster. Number 3, earliest Halloween costume you can remember. Well, the earliest Halloween costume I can remember is probably being a ghost. Mom took an old white bed sheet or white sheet of some kind, and she cut holes in the eyes and one in the mouth, and put like I think we used twine, binder twine from the hay bales actually. You make do with what you have, and tied it kind of loosely around the neck. That's the most earliest costume that I can remember. Although I do also remember the ones with the plastic mask in the front and had the rubber band that went around and held it on your face. And I think I had a Wonder Woman one year, and it had this, I remember that well because it had a small slit for the mouth, and I remember sticking my tongue, trying to stick my tongue through that small hole in it, and my tongue kind of got stuck in it at one point, and it did not feel very good. And number 4, costume you've always wanted to wear. Well, I've always wanted to be a really elaborate, some type of a zombie. I used to admire the zombies, how they made them look so realistic in the movies, and I kind of wished I could always have like the really good makeup and clothes and things. That's one thing that I've always admired. Okay, do you like to be spooked or be the one to spook somebody? Well, I think it's always more fun to spook somebody. I don't mind being spooked. I mean, I will walk through, I've been through haunted houses and stuff like that. But one thing I really don't enjoy is if somebody like startles me really bad. It seems like I get angry. I don't like it when people do that to me. But if I purposely walk through something and I get scared, it's not that bad. So I think I would rather spook somebody. Okay. Number 6, have you ever had a supernatural experience? Well, I can honestly say that spooky wise, I have never had a supernatural experience. Um, I as far as like seeing ghosts or anything like that, my mother could she could see stuff like that. Um, my mom worked she was a teacher at a daycare for like 8 years, and the daycare was in the basement of a church, and she always did not like going in and being the first one to open up the classrooms and stuff, but she often was. And she said it was kind of an eerie feeling down there, and she told me that one time she did see and it was like an elderly couple. It was an old man and an old woman, and they were holding arms, and they were walking really fast down the aisle, down the hallway one morning when she came into the basement of the church, which I think was, if you can just imagine that must have been kind of a weird thing to see. Anyway, number 7. Best thing you've ever received trick-or-treating. I think the best thing that I ever received trick-or-treating was anything homemade. I lived in a small town, and there was one house that would pass out homemade treats. And being that we knew the lady, that was okay. Nowadays they urge you not to hand out homemade things. They have to be packaged and whatever. But she would hand out homemade caramel apples and caramel popcorn, and it was awesome. I just loved going to her house. Number 8, most creative costume you've ever seen. I have seen a lot of creative costumes in my time. I When I was married, my husband and I would like to dress, well, I in particular like to dress up and go to the different bars. They would have a lot of cool prizes and things, and they would always have a dance going on and stuff. And I think I can tell you the most creative one that my husband and I ever did was one year we went as a hot dog. He was the wiener and I was the bun, and it was we got first place. We won a TV that year at one of the local bars, and we had so much fun. It was really, really fun. Okay. Have you ever visited a spooky haunted location? No, I can say I never have personally. I knew of some places. There was one house in the town that I grew up in that everybody knew it was haunted. Several people had bought the house and tried to live in it and ended up leaving because it was, I guess, the spirit, if you believe in that, that was in the house was a very angry lady. Actually, I think she was a relative of mine. My dad knew her as when he was a small child, and he said even when she was alive, she was very angry, mean lady. So I don't know. There was actually one family that moved in there, and they had actually started renovating the place. It's a beautiful house, and they could not do it. They couldn't stay in there, and so I think even today it sits there vacant. I don't know what they're going to end up doing with it, but anyway, it's kind of interesting. And number 10, favorite trick-or-treating memory. Well, I think the most favorite trick-or-treating memory that I have is my best friend and I, we would go trick-or-treating every year together, and we would just be turned loose in town. We lived in a small town, and we would just go from place to place and get all kinds of candy. But the best thing is there was an English teacher in the high school in my town. His name was Mr. Massett. Mr. Massett passed away a couple years ago, but he was an awesome teacher. And what he would do is on Halloween night, he would open up his house to all the kids in the neighborhood, and he would, have food and treats, and you were welcome to come and stay at his place for as long as you wanted. And he figured that if he did that, it would help keep especially the older kids out of trouble at night. They had a place to go where they could congregate and gather, and it was really fun. And I remember going there myself and having hot apple cider and just talking to everybody and having a good time. So anyway, thank you, Carla, for these 10 questions. And thank you, Tammy and Jessica, for hosting another really fun Pika Wednesday. I've enjoyed doing this week's tag. It's been really fun. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and I hope that everybody has a great day. Remember that happiness is a choice, and me and little Pika love and care about you, and want to thank you for helping to make our day a very happy Dolly day. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.